The phone rang sharply at 3 a.m., slicing through the peaceful silence of the night and sending my heart into a panic. On the other end, Detective Thomason's voice was steady and unyielding. "Mr. Parker, we have your wife Jennifer in custody for driving under the influence." My mind raced as I pulled on my clothes and grabbed my keys. Jennifer, my Jennifer, who had always been the epitome of responsibility and composure, was now sitting in a jail cell. Our 23 years of marriage flashed before me as I drove to the station. Years filled with love, laughter, and shared dreams. How had it come to this? At the station, Jennifer sat behind bars, her makeup smudged and her eyes red from crying. She looked up at me, but there were no words, just a heavy, suffocating silence. After bailing her out, we drove home in a tense, wordless ride. The night seemed darker, the air thicker with unspoken questions. Inside our home, the place that once held so much warmth, I finally found my voice. "Jennifer, what were you thinking?" She couldn't meet my eyes. Her voice was barely audible. "I made a mistake, Alex. I don't know what else to say." But I knew there was more. Jennifer had been distant for months, working late and disappearing for long walks, and our conversations had dwindled to mere small talk. I had dismissed it as work stress, but now doubt gnawed at me. "Is there something you're not telling me?" I asked, my voice trembling with a mix of anger and fear. Tears welled up in her eyes. I need some space, Alex. Can we talk about this later?" That night, I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, unable to sleep. My mind was a storm of suspicions and painful memories. What had driven Jennifer to this point? Was there someone else in her life? The next day, I shared my fears with my best friend, Michael. He listened intently before suggesting something that felt both drastic and necessary. "Maybe you should hire a private investigator, Alex, just to get some clarity." The thought of it was overwhelming, but I knew I needed answers. A week later, the investigator handed me a folder. Inside were photographs and messages that confirmed my worst fears. Jennifer was having an affair with her colleague Jason. Each image, each text was a sharp knife cutting through my heart. That evening, I confronted Jennifer in our living room, a place once filled with love and laughter. "Why, Jennifer? Why him?" My voice broke, the hurt evident. She looked devastated, her face pale. "I don't know, Alex. I felt trapped, like I was suffocating. Jason made me feel alive again." Her words were like salt in an open wound, but they also brought clarity. Our marriage, built on years of trust and companionship, was in ruins. I knew what I had to do. "I want a divorce," I said, my voice steadier than I felt. Jennifer nodded, tears streaming down her face. "I understand." As I walked away, a mix of sorrow and relief washed over me. Our 23-year marriage was ending, but I was determined to find a way to rebuild my life. Little did I know that karma had its plans for Jennifer, setting the stage for her to face the consequences of her actions. In the days following our decision to divorce, the house felt emptier than ever. Jennifer moved into the guest room, and we communicated only when necessary. I couldn't shake the memories of our life together, our wedding day, the birth of our children, and the countless shared moments that now felt tainted by her betrayal. As I went about my daily routine, I started to piece together the signs that I had missed. Jennifer's late nights at the office, her sudden interest in fitness and appearance, and the new clothes that seemed out of character. These changes, which I had once attributed to her trying to improve herself, now seemed like red flags I had ignored. At work, I found it difficult to concentrate. My colleagues noticed my distracted state, and even my boss pulled me aside to ask if everything was okay. I lied, saying that it was just a rough patch, but inside, I was unraveling. The betrayal had shattered my sense of self, leaving me questioning everything. One evening, as I was cleaning out some old boxes in the attic, I found our wedding album. I flipped through the pages, each photo a painful reminder of the love we once shared. Our smiles, so genuine and full of promise, now felt like a cruel joke. I closed the album and shoved it back into the box, unable to bear the sight of it. Determined to find some semblance of normalcy, I threw myself into my work and hobbies. I started running again, something I hadn't done in years. The physical exertion was a welcome distraction, giving me a sense of control in a life that felt out of my hands. Despite my efforts, The nights were the hardest. Lying in bed, the silence was deafening. I would stare at the ceiling, my mind replaying the images from the investigator's folder. The pain of her betrayal was a constant companion, gnawing at me, refusing to let go. It was during one of these sleepless nights that I received a message from Michael. He invited me out for a drink, sensing that I needed a friend. Reluctantly, I agreed. At the bar, I found solace in his company. We talked about everything but Jennifer, and for a few hours I felt a semblance of normalcy. As the weeks went by, I began to notice changes in Jennifer too. She was more withdrawn, her usual confidence replaced by a fragile uncertainty. One evening, she approached me in the kitchen, her eyes filled with a sadness I hadn't seen before. "Alex, I'm sorry," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I know I've hurt you, and I can't take that back. I just wanted you to know that I regret everything." I looked at her, searching for the right words. "Jennifer, it's too late for apologies. We've both made our choices, and now we have to live with them." She nodded, tears streaming down her face, and left the room. I stood there, feeling a strange mix of pity and anger. Her regret didn't change what she had done, and it didn't heal the wounds she had inflicted. In those moments of reflection, I realized that moving on would be a slow and painful process. But I also knew that I couldn't let her betrayal define the rest of my life. I had to find a way to rebuild piece by piece and create a new future for myself. As the days turned into weeks, my initial shock and pain began to transform into a gnawing suspicion. Jennifer's actions had shattered my trust, and I couldn't help but replay the events of the past year in my mind. The late-night meetings, the secretive phone calls, the sudden interest in her appearance, all these signs that I had once brushed off as harmless now seemed glaringly obvious. One evening, as I was sorting through the mail, I came across an envelope addressed to Jennifer from a spa she had never mentioned. Curiosity got the better of me, and I opened it. Inside was a receipt for a series of couples massages, dated over the past few months. My heart sank as I realized she had been spending time with Jason, even before our marriage hit its lowest point. Determined to uncover the full extent of her deceit, I decided to follow her. The next day, I waited until she left for one of her supposed work meetings and trailed her car. She drove to a cafe across town, where she met with Jason. They sat in a corner, talking intimately, their heads close together. The sight of them laughing and sharing what seemed to be a tender moment ignited a fire of anger and hurt within me. I confronted Jennifer that night, unable to contain my fury any longer. "How long has this been going on?" I demanded, holding up the spa receipt. She glanced at the paper, her face pale. "Alex, it's not what you think," she stammered. "Then explain it to me," I shot back. "Explain how our marriage fell apart while you were off enjoying massages with him." Tears welled up in her eyes, but I couldn't find any sympathy left in me. "It started about a year ago," she admitted. "I felt disconnected from you, from our life. Jason was there, and it just happened." Her words were like a slap in the face. A year of lies, a year of betrayal. "You had a choice, Jennifer. You could have talked to me, but instead you chose to deceive me. Why?" She wiped her eyes, looking broken. "I don't know, Alex. I was unhappy, and I made terrible decisions. I wish I could take it back. But it was too late for regrets. The damage was done, and our marriage was beyond repair." "I hope he was worth it," I said bitterly, turning away from her. In the following days, I felt a mixture of anger and sadness. Every reminder of Jennifer and Jason's affair felt like another wound reopening. I tried to bury myself in work, but the thoughts would not leave me alone. One afternoon, Michael dropped by my office. Seeing the state I was in, he suggested a weekend away to clear my head. "You need to get out of this house, Alex. It's driving you crazy." Reluctantly, I agreed. We rented a cabin by a lake a few hours away. The change of scenery did me good. The quiet solitude of nature, the fresh air, and Michael's steady presence helped me start to process everything that had happened. Sitting by the lake one evening, I found myself thinking about the future. Jennifer's betrayal had shattered my past, but it didn't have to dictate my future. I realized that I had a choice too. I could let this break me, or I could use it to rebuild a stronger, better version of myself. Returning home, I felt a newfound sense of determination. I started focusing more on my hobbies, reconnecting with old friends, and even considering new career opportunities. Each small step forward was a way to reclaim my life from the ruins Jennifer had left behind. Despite everything, I couldn't ignore the pain and the mistrust that lingered. But I also knew that healing was a process, and I was committed to seeing it through. Little by little, day by day, I was beginning to see a path forward, a way to rebuild my life and find happiness once more. The tension in the house was unbearable. Jennifer and I moved through our daily routines like ghosts, our interactions reduced to the bare minimum. It was clear that our lives had taken different paths, and there was no turning back. One evening, feeling suffocated by the silence, I decided to visit Michael. He had been my rock throughout this ordeal, and I needed his advice more than ever. When I arrived at Michael's place, he welcomed me with a warm hug. We sat down in his living room, and I poured out my heart. I don't know what to do, Michael. Every time I look at Jennifer, I feel nothing but betrayal and anger. How do I move on from this? Michael listened patiently, his expression thoughtful. Alex, it's not going to be easy. You've been through a lot, and it's natural to feel the way you do. But you have to take care of yourself first. You need to find a way to heal. I sighed, feeling the weight of his words. I just don't know where to start. Everything reminds me of what I've lost. Michael leaned forward, his eyes serious. Maybe it's time to make some changes, Alex. Start fresh. Do things that make you happy, things that you used to enjoy before all this happened. You need to rebuild your life, one step at a time. His words resonated with me. I realized that I had been so focused on the pain and betrayal that I had forgotten about my well-being. It was time to take control of my life again. The next day, I decided to take Michael's advice to heart. I began by decluttering the house and removing items that brought back painful memories. I packed away old photographs, gifts, and anything that reminded me of our marriage. It was a painful process, but I knew it was necessary for my healing. I also rekindled my passion for running. I had always found solace in the rhythmic pounding of my feet on the pavement and the rush of wind in my face. It became my daily therapy, a way to clear my mind and regain my strength. One evening, while out for a run, I passed by a community center that offered various classes and activities. A poster caught my eye. There was a cooking class starting the following week. Cooking had always been a hobby of mine, something that brought me joy and relaxation. On a whim, I signed up for the class, hoping it would provide a much-needed distraction. The first class was a revelation. I was surrounded by people who shared my passion for cooking, and the act of creating something from scratch was incredibly therapeutic. It was in that class that I met Melissa. She was friendly, with a warm smile and a genuine interest in getting to know me. As the weeks passed, Melissa and I became friends. She listened without judgment as I shared my story, offering support and encouragement. Her kindness and understanding were like a balm to my wounded soul. Meanwhile, Jennifer seemed to be struggling with her regrets. She tried to reach out to me, attempting to apologize and make amends. But the trust between us was irrevocably broken, and I couldn't bring myself to engage with her. I needed to focus on my healing, and that meant distancing myself from her as much as possible. One evening, as I was cleaning up after dinner, Jennifer approached me. Alex, I know I can't change what I did, but I want you to know that I'm truly sorry. I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me someday. I looked at her, seeing the regret in her eyes. Jennifer, I appreciate your apology, but forgiveness is a long road and I'm not there yet. We both need to move on and find our paths. She nodded, tears welling up. I understand. I just hope you find happiness again. As she walked away, I felt a sense of closure. Her apology didn't erase the pain, but it was a step towards healing. I realized that my journey was far from over, but I was finally on the right path. With each passing day, I grew stronger. I found joy in cooking, running, and spending time with new friends like Melissa. Slowly but surely, I was rebuilding my life, piece by piece. The road ahead was uncertain, but I was determined to forge a new future for myself, one where I could find happiness and peace once more. Life started to regain a semblance of normalcy as I embraced new routines and interests. The cooking classes became a highlight of my week, and my friendship with Melissa continued to grow. Despite the progress I was making, the specter of Jennifer's betrayal still lingered, casting a shadow over my efforts to move on. One evening, while sorting through old documents in the attic, I stumbled upon a box I hadn't noticed before. It was tucked away in a corner, covered in dust. Curious, I opened it and found a collection of Jennifer's personal items: journals, letters, and photographs. As much as I wanted to put the box aside, something compelled me to delve deeper. I hesitated before picking up one of the journals. Flipping through its pages, I discovered entries dating back several years. Jennifer had written about her struggles, her feelings of isolation, and her growing dissatisfaction with our marriage. Her words were a painful reminder of how disconnected we had become, but they also provided a glimpse into her mindset. Among the letters, I found one addressed to me. It was dated a few months before our separation. My hands trembled as I unfolded the paper and began to read. Dear Alex, I don't know if I'll ever have the courage to give you this letter, but I need to put my thoughts into words. I feel like I'm losing myself, and I don't know how to find my way back. Our marriage, which once brought me so much joy, now feels like a prison. I love you, but I'm suffocating. I need something more, something that makes me feel alive again. I'm so sorry for the pain I've caused, and I hope someday you can understand. Love, Jennifer. Tears welled up in my eyes as I finished reading. The letter was a raw and honest portrayal of Jennifer's inner turmoil. It didn't justify her actions, but it helped me see the depth of her despair. For the first time, I felt a pang of empathy amidst my anger. Determined to understand the full extent of what had happened, I decided to talk to Jason. It wasn't an easy decision, but I needed closure. I reached out to him, and to my surprise, he agreed to meet. We met at a quiet cafe, far from the prying eyes of our small town. Jason looked uncomfortable, his guilt evident. Alex, I'm sorry about everything. I never meant for it to go this far. I took a deep breath, trying to keep my emotions in check. Why, Jason? Why did you and Jennifer start this affair? He sighed, running a hand through his hair. It wasn't planned. We started confiding in each other about our problems, and one thing led to another. I know it sounds cliché, but it just happened. Did you love her? I asked, needing to hear the truth. He hesitated before answering. I cared about her, but love? I don't know. It was more about filling a void in our lives. His honesty was painful but necessary. I realized that their affair wasn't driven by deep love, but by mutual dissatisfaction and a search for something to fill their emotional gaps. After our conversation, I felt a strange sense of relief. Knowing the truth, no matter how painful, was a crucial step in my healing process. It helped me see that Jennifer's betrayal wasn't just a failure of our marriage, but also a reflection of her struggles. Returning home, I decided to finally talk to Jennifer. We needed to close this chapter for good. That evening, we sat down in the living room, the tension between us palpable. I talked to Jason, I began, watching her reaction. She looked surprised but nodded for me to continue. I needed to understand why this happened, and I read your letter. Jennifer's eyes filled with tears. I never wanted to hurt you, Alex. I was lost, and I made terrible choices. I know, I said quietly. And while that doesn't excuse what you did, it helps me understand. We both lost our way, and we need to find our paths now. She nodded, wiping her eyes. I hope you can find happiness, Alex. Truly. I hope you can too, Jennifer, I replied. With that conversation, I felt a sense of closure. The wounds were still there, but they were beginning to heal. I knew that moving on wouldn't be easy, but I was finally ready to let go of the past and embrace whatever the future held. As the days turned into weeks, I continued to focus on rebuilding my life. Melissa and I grew closer, her presence a constant source of comfort and support. Slowly but surely, I was finding my way back to happiness, one step at a time. The closure I found after talking to Jason and Jennifer was a turning point. The weight of their betrayal was still there, but it no longer felt like an insurmountable burden. I was ready to confront the future with a renewed sense of purpose and determination. One morning, as I was getting ready for work, I received an unexpected call from an old college friend, David. We hadn't spoken in years, but he had heard about my situation through mutual friends and wanted to catch up. We arranged to meet for lunch the next day. Over lunch, David and I reminisced about the old days, our conversations flowing easily. Eventually, the topic turned to my current situation. I heard about what happened with Jennifer. I'm sorry, Alex. he said, genuinely concerned. Thanks, David. It's been tough, but I'm starting to find my way again, I replied. David leaned forward, a thoughtful look on his face. You know, I've always admired your resilience. Remember that startup idea we had back in college? Maybe it's time to revisit it. His suggestion caught me off guard. The idea we had toyed with years ago, a tech company focused on creating innovative software solutions, had always been a dream of ours. But life had taken us in different directions, and the dream had faded into the background. Are you serious? I asked, intrigued by the possibility. Absolutely, David replied. I've been thinking about it a lot lately. We both have the experience now, and I think we could make it work. The idea sparked something within me. It felt like the perfect opportunity to channel my energy into something positive and meaningful. Let's do it, I said, feeling a surge of excitement. Over the next few weeks, David and I met regularly to brainstorm and plan. We worked late into the night, fueled by our shared passion and determination. It felt invigorating to be working towards something new, a fresh start that had the potential to change my life in ways I hadn't imagined. Meanwhile, my friendship with Melissa continued to deepen. She was a constant source of support, her positivity and kindness helping me through the tough days. One evening, after a particularly productive meeting with David, I invited Melissa over for dinner to celebrate. As we sat in the kitchen laughing and sharing stories, I realized how much she had come to mean to me. She had been there through the darkest moments, her presence a beacon of hope and stability. Melissa, I don't know what I would have done without you these past few months, I said, looking into her eyes. You've been a true friend. She smiled warmly, reaching across the table to take my hand. Alex, you've been through so much, and yet you've managed to keep going. I'm glad I could be here for you. As the evening progressed, the atmosphere between us shifted. There was a new sense of closeness, an unspoken understanding that our relationship was evolving into something more. I felt a mix of excitement and nervousness, unsure of where this new path would lead. The following weeks were a whirlwind of activity. David and I officially launched our startup, and the response was overwhelmingly positive. The sense of accomplishment was intoxicating, and I found myself more motivated than ever. Melissa and I continued to grow closer, our friendship blossoming into a romantic relationship. We took things slowly, both of us wary of rushing into something new too quickly. But with each passing day, I felt more certain that she was someone I wanted to share my future with. One evening, as we were walking by the lake, Melissa turned to me, her expression serious. Alex, I've been thinking a lot about us. I know we've both been through a lot, but I want you to know that I'm here for you. I care about you deeply. I stopped and looked at her, my heart full. I care about you too, Melissa. More than I can put into words. You've brought so much light into my life, and I'm grateful for every moment we've shared. She smiled, and we continued walking hand in hand, the future looking brighter than it had in a long time. Despite the pain and betrayal of the past, I was finally beginning to see a path forward. It was a path filled with hope, love, and endless possibilities. With my life taking new directions, the days became a blend of excitement and hard work. The startup with David quickly gained traction, and our dedication paid off as we secured our first major client. The sense of accomplishment was exhilarating, and for the first time in months, I felt genuinely hopeful about the future. Melissa was a constant presence, her support unwavering. Our relationship grew stronger, built on a foundation of mutual respect and understanding. We spent our evenings cooking together, taking long walks, and sharing dreams of what the future might hold. Her positivity and kindness were a healing balm to my wounded soul. One weekend, we decided to take a short trip to a nearby town, known for its scenic beauty and peaceful atmosphere. It was a chance to escape the pressures of work and the lingering shadows of the past. We rented a cozy cabin by a lake, surrounded by nature's tranquility. On our first morning there, we woke early to watch the sunrise. The sky was a canvas of brilliant colors, reflecting the calm waters of the lake. As we stood there, wrapped in each other's arms, I felt a deep sense of peace. For the first time, I truly believed that I could move beyond the pain and build something beautiful again. Thank you for being here with me, Melissa, I said, my voice filled with emotion. She smiled, resting her head on my shoulder. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, Alex. You've shown me what it means to be resilient and to find hope in the darkest times. We spent the weekend exploring the town, hiking through forest trails, and savoring the simple joys of being together. Each moment felt like a step towards healing, a testament to the power of love and new beginnings. Back home, the pace of work picked up. David and I were busy finalizing deals and expanding our team. The startup became a beacon of hope, not just for us but for everyone involved. It was a place where we could channel our creativity and drive, building something meaningful from the ground up. One evening, after a particularly grueling day, David pulled me aside. "Alex, I've been meaning to tell you something. Seeing how you've turned your life around after everything that happened. It's been inspiring. You've shown me what it means to never give up." His words touched me deeply. "Thanks, David. I couldn't have done it without you. This startup, this new life, it's given me a purpose again." Our conversation was a reminder of how far I had come. The pain of the past was still there, but it no longer defined me. I was creating a new narrative, one filled with hope and promise. As my relationship with Melissa deepened, we started discussing the possibility of moving in together. It was a big step, but it felt right. We had both been through so much, and our bond had only grown stronger. One evening, over a candlelit dinner, I broached the subject. "Melissa, I've been thinking, maybe it's time we took the next step. How would you feel about moving in together?" She looked at me, her eyes shining with affection. "I've been thinking the same thing, Alex. I would love to share my life with you, in every way." Her response filled me with joy. We began making plans, excited about the future we were building together. It felt like a new chapter, one filled with endless possibilities. Meanwhile, Jennifer's presence in my life had diminished. We communicated only when necessary, mostly about the logistics of our separation. She seemed to be dealing with her struggles, and I hoped that she too would find a way to heal and move forward. As the months passed, the startup flourished, and my relationship with Melissa continued to grow. I found myself reflecting on the journey that had brought me here. The pain, the betrayal, the uncertainty. Each step had been a part of the process, shaping me into the person I was becoming. One evening, as Melissa and I sat by the fireplace, I took her hand in mine. "I'm so grateful for you, Melissa. You've been my light through all of this." She smiled, squeezing my hand. "And you've shown me the true meaning of resilience, Alex. Together, we can face anything." Looking into her eyes, I knew that the future was bright. The journey ahead would have its challenges, but we were ready to face them together. It was a new beginning, a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the power of love. As Melissa and I settled into our new life together, the rhythms of daily life became a comforting routine. The startup continued to thrive, and our relationship grew stronger with each passing day. Despite the lingering shadows of the past, I felt a renewed sense of purpose and joy. One day, while working late at the office, I received a call from Jennifer. It had been months since we last spoke, and the sound of her voice was jarring. "Alex, I need to talk to you. Can we meet?" Reluctantly, I agreed. We arranged to meet at a nearby park the following evening. The park had been a favorite spot of ours during happier times, and I wondered if she chose it for that reason. As I arrived, I saw Jennifer sitting on a bench, looking more fragile and worn than I remembered. She greeted me with a sad smile. "Thank you for meeting me, Alex." "What's going on, Jennifer?" I asked, keeping my tone neutral. She took a deep breath, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "I wanted to apologize again. I know I've said it before, but I need you to understand how deeply sorry I am for everything. I've been doing a lot of soul-searching, and I realize how much I hurt you." I nodded, not quite sure how to respond. Her remorse seemed genuine, but the scars she had left were still fresh. "I appreciate that, Jennifer. It's been a difficult journey for both of us." "There's something else," she continued, her voice trembling. "I'm moving away. I've accepted a job offer in another state. I think it's best if I start over somewhere new." Her words took me by surprise. The thought of her leaving town stirred a mix of emotions within me. "I think that's a good idea," I said finally. "We both need a fresh start." Jennifer nodded, a tear slipping down her cheek. "I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me someday, Alex. I truly wish you all the happiness in the world." "Thank you, Jennifer. I hope you find peace and happiness too," I replied. As she walked away, I felt a sense of finality. Our chapter together was truly closing, and while it was bittersweet, it also felt like a necessary step toward healing. Returning home that evening, I shared the news with Melissa. She listened intently, her presence a constant source of comfort. "How do you feel about her leaving?" she asked gently. "I'm not sure," I admitted. "Part of me is relieved and part of me is sad, but I think it's the best thing for both of us." Melissa nodded, her eyes filled with understanding. "It sounds like you both need this, a chance to move on." Her support meant the world to me. As we sat together, I realized how far I had come since discovering Jennifer's betrayal. The pain was still there, but it no longer defined me. I was ready to embrace the future, whatever it might hold. In the following weeks, I focused on the startup and my relationship with Melissa. David and I worked tirelessly, securing new clients and expanding our reach. The success of the business was a testament to our hard work and dedication, and it brought a sense of accomplishment that I hadn't felt in a long time. Melissa and I continued to build our life together, finding joy in the little things, cooking meals, exploring new places, and simply being with each other. Her love and support were a constant reminder of the beauty of new beginnings. One evening, as we were planning a weekend getaway, Melissa turned to me with a thoughtful expression. "Alex, have you ever thought about what you want in the future? Beyond the startup? Beyond everything that's happened?" Her question made me pause. I had been so focused on rebuilding my life that I hadn't taken the time to think about my long-term dreams and aspirations. "I want to build a life that's filled with love, happiness, and purpose," I said slowly. "I want to create something meaningful, both in my work and in my personal life." Melissa smiled, her eyes shining with affection. "I think you're well on your way to doing just that, and I'll be here, every step of the way." Her words filled me with warmth. I knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, we would face them together. The winds of change had brought new beginnings, and I was ready to embrace them with an open heart and an unwavering spirit. As I looked into Melissa's eyes, I felt a profound sense of gratitude. The journey had been long and difficult, but it had led me to this moment. With love, resilience, and a newfound sense of purpose, I was ready to face the future, one step at a time. Jennifer's departure from town marked a significant turning point. With her gone, I found it easier to focus on the positive aspects of my life and the future I was building with Melissa. However, the concept of karma, a force that many believe balances the scales of justice, soon made its presence known in ways I hadn't anticipated. A few months after Jennifer moved away, I received an unexpected email from her. She sounded desperate, her words filled with regret and sorrow. "Alex, I don't know who else to turn to. Everything is falling apart, and I feel completely lost." Curious and slightly concerned, I decided to call her. The voice on the other end was a far cry from the confident woman I had once known. Jennifer explained that her new job had turned out to be a nightmare. The company was on the brink of bankruptcy, and she was struggling to make ends meet. To make matters worse, Jason had abandoned her, leaving her to face these challenges alone. Listening to her, I felt a mix of emotions. There was a part of me that felt vindicated, as if the universe was delivering justice for the pain she had caused. But there was also a part of me that felt a pang of empathy for her plight. "Jennifer, I'm sorry you're going through this," I said, trying to keep my tone neutral. "But you need to find a way to stand on your own 2 feet. You can't rely on others to fix this for you." She sighed, her voice breaking. "I know, Alex. I don't know where to start." We talked for a while longer, and I offered some practical advice. As I hung up, I realized that despite everything, I didn't wish her any ill. I simply wanted to move forward with my life, free from the shadows of the past. That evening, I shared the conversation with Melissa. She listened attentively, her eyes filled with understanding. "It sounds like she's facing the consequences of her actions," she said gently. "Karma has a way of balancing things out." "I guess so," I replied. "But I can't help but feel a little sorry for her. She's lost so much." Melissa nodded. "It's natural to feel that way, Alex. It shows that you're a compassionate person. But remember, you've also gained so much. Focus on that." Her words were a reminder of how far I had come. My life with Melissa was flourishing, and the startup was growing beyond our wildest dreams. We were securing new contracts, expanding our team, and making a name for ourselves in the industry. The sense of accomplishment was deeply satisfying, a testament to our hard work and dedication. One afternoon, as I was wrapping up a meeting at the office, David approached me with a serious expression. "Alex, I've been hearing some disturbing news about Jennifer. She's in a lot of debt and struggling to keep her head above water." The news didn't come as a complete surprise, given our recent conversation. "Yeah, she reached out to me. It sounds like she's hit rock bottom." David nodded, a thoughtful look on his face. "I know she hurt you deeply, but maybe she could use some help. Not financial help, but perhaps some guidance." His suggestion lingered in my mind. Helping Jennifer navigate this difficult period could be a way to fully close the chapter on our past. After discussing it with Melissa, I decided to reach out to Jennifer once more, offering my support in the form of advice and connections. The next few weeks were a whirlwind of activity. Between the demands of the startup and my personal life, I found time to assist Jennifer in finding resources to help her get back on her feet. It was a strange feeling, to offer support to someone who had caused me so much pain, but it also felt like the right thing to do. One evening, as Melissa and I were preparing dinner, she turned to me with a warm smile. "I'm proud of you, Alex. You've shown incredible strength and compassion. Not everyone could do what you're doing." I smiled back at her, feeling a deep sense of contentment. "Thanks, Melissa. I couldn't have done it without you. You've been my anchor through all of this." As the months passed, Jennifer began to rebuild her life, slowly but surely. She found a new job, one that suited her skills and offered a stable environment. We kept in touch sporadically, and it was clear that she was grateful for the support. In the meantime, my life with Melissa continued to blossom. We moved into a new apartment together, one that we decorated with care and filled with love. Our days were a mix of work, adventures, and quiet moments that brought us closer. One evening, as we were sitting on the balcony watching the sunset, Melissa turned to me with a thoughtful expression. "Alex, have you ever thought about what you want our future to look like? Beyond the startup, beyond everything that's happened?" Her question made me pause. "I want a future filled with love, happiness, and purpose," I said slowly. "I want to continue building something meaningful, both in our work and in our personal lives." Melissa smiled, her eyes shining with affection. "I think we're well on our way to achieving that. Together, we can face anything." Her words filled me with warmth. I knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, we would face them together. The journey had been long and difficult, but it had led me to this moment. With love, resilience, and a newfound sense of purpose, I was ready to face the future, one step at a time. With Jennifer gradually rebuilding her life and our contact diminishing, I was finally able to fully focus on my future with Melissa. The startup was thriving, and our relationship was stronger than ever. The sense of renewal and growth was palpable in every aspect of my life. One Saturday morning, as Melissa and I enjoyed a leisurely breakfast on our balcony, she looked at me with a playful smile. "Alex, have you ever thought about taking a trip together? Just the two of us, somewhere far away?" I looked at her, intrigued by the idea. "That sounds amazing. Where do you have in mind?" "I've always wanted to visit Italy," she said, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "The history, the food, the scenery, it's always been a dream of mine." The thought of escaping to Italy with Melissa filled me with anticipation. "Let's do it," I agreed, feeling a rush of excitement. We could use a getaway. Over the next few weeks, we planned our trip, booking flights and accommodations, and mapping out the places we wanted to visit. The anticipation of the journey added a new layer of excitement to our lives. Finally, the day arrived. As we boarded the plane hand in hand, I felt a sense of adventure that I hadn't experienced in years. The flight was long but filled with lighthearted conversations and shared dreams of what awaited us. Our first stop was Rome, a city steeped in history and romance. We explored ancient ruins, marveled at the grandeur of the Colosseum, and tossed coins into the Trevi Fountain, making wishes for our future. Each moment was magical, a testament to the new life we were building together. One evening, as we dined at a quaint restaurant overlooking the city, Melissa reached across the table, taking my hand in hers. "Alex, I'm so happy we did this. It feels like a new beginning." I smiled, feeling the same sense of renewal. "It does. This trip has been incredible, but being with you is what makes it truly special." As we continued our journey through Italy, visiting Florence, Venice, and the picturesque countryside of Tuscany, our bond grew even stronger. The beauty of the country and the richness of its culture were awe-inspiring, but it was the shared experiences that made the trip unforgettable. One morning, as we strolled through a vineyard in Tuscany, Melissa stopped and turned to me, her eyes filled with love. "Alex, I've been thinking a lot about us and our future. I know we've both been through so much, but I want you to know that I see a lifetime with you. I want to build a family, create memories, and grow old together." Her words touched me deeply. I had been thinking the same thing, but hearing her say it made my heart swell with happiness. "Melissa, I feel the same way. You've brought so much joy and love into my life. I can't imagine my future without you." As the sun set over the rolling hills, I realized that this moment was perfect. I reached into my pocket, pulling out a small velvet box. "Melissa, you've shown me what it means to love and be loved. Will you marry me?" Her eyes widened in surprise and joy. "Yes, Alex, 1,000 times yes." We embraced, our hearts full of love and excitement for the future. The vineyard, with its breathtaking views and serene atmosphere, was the perfect backdrop for our engagement. It felt like the culmination of our journey, a testament to the strength and resilience of our love. Returning home as an engaged couple, we were greeted with joy and congratulations from our friends and family. The next few months were a whirlwind of wedding planning, work, and dreaming about our future. The startup continued to flourish, and our team celebrated each milestone with enthusiasm. David was thrilled for us, and our shared success felt even more rewarding. The wedding day arrived, a beautiful celebration of love and commitment. Surrounded by our loved ones, Melissa and I exchanged vows, promising to support and cherish each other through all of life's challenges and triumphs. The ceremony was intimate and heartfelt, reflecting the deep bond we had formed. As we danced under the stars, I reflected on the journey that had brought us here. The pain of the past had been transformed into a source of strength, leading me to a place of love and happiness I had never imagined. Melissa was my partner, my confidant, and my best friend. Together, we were ready to face whatever the future held. Our honeymoon took us back to Italy, a fitting start to our married life. We revisited the places that had brought us so much joy, creating new memories as husband and wife. Each day was filled with laughter, adventure, and a deep sense of contentment. Returning home, we settled into our new roles as a married couple, continuing to build our lives together. The startup remained a source of pride and fulfillment, and our personal life flourished with the same passion and dedication. In the years that followed, we faced challenges and celebrated victories, always with the unwavering support of each other. The lessons of the past have taught us the importance of communication, trust, and resilience. Our love grew stronger with each passing day, a testament to the power of new beginnings. Looking back, I realized that the journey had been worth every moment of pain and uncertainty. It had led me to a place of profound love and happiness, a life filled with purpose and joy. With Melissa by my side, I knew that the future was bright, and together, we would continue to build a truly extraordinary life. Married life brought a sense of stability and joy that I hadn't felt in years. Melissa and I settled into our routines, balancing work at the startup with our personal lives. The happiness we shared was genuine and deep, a testament to the journey we had taken together. One evening, after a particularly productive day at the office, Melissa and I decided to unwind by taking a walk through our neighborhood. The cool evening breeze and the sounds of nature were a perfect backdrop for our conversation. "Alex, I've been thinking about something," Melissa said, her tone serious yet filled with excitement. "What's on your mind?" I asked, squeezing her hand. "I've been thinking about starting a family," she replied, looking up at me with hopeful eyes. "I know we've talked about it before, but I feel like now might be the right time." The idea of starting a family had always been a part of our plans, but hearing Melissa voice it so directly filled me with a mix of excitement and apprehension. "I think it's a wonderful idea, Melissa. I'm ready to take that step with you." Her face lit up with a radiant smile. "Really? I'm so glad to hear that, Alex. I've been feeling this deep desire to create a home filled with love and laughter." As we continued our walk, we talked about our hopes and dreams for the future, envisioning a life filled with the pitter-patter of little feet and the joyful chaos of parenthood. The prospect of starting a family added a new layer of meaning to our lives, bringing us even closer together. In the following months, We began making preparations. We turned one of the rooms in our apartment into a nursery, painting the walls a soft, calming shade and filling it with furniture and decorations that reflected our excitement and love. Each step of the process was filled with anticipation and joy. One morning, Melissa surprised me with the news that we were expecting. The emotions that flooded through me were indescribable: joy, excitement, and a deep sense of gratitude. We celebrated the news together, toasting the future and the incredible journey that lay ahead. As the months passed, Melissa's pregnancy progressed smoothly. We attended prenatal classes, read books on parenting, and spent countless hours discussing names and planning for our new arrival. The sense of anticipation was electric, and we cherished each moment as we prepared to welcome our child into the world. However, life has a way of throwing unexpected challenges our way. One afternoon, as I was working from home, I received a call from David. His voice was tense, and I could hear the urgency in his words. "Alex, we've hit a major snag with one of our key projects," he said. "Our biggest client is threatening to pull out unless we make some significant changes. We need to meet immediately to come up with a plan." The news was a blow, but I knew we had to act quickly. "I'll be there as soon as I can," I replied, grabbing my laptop and heading to the office. The next few weeks were a whirlwind of meetings, late nights, and intense problem-solving. David and I, along with our dedicated team, worked tirelessly to address the client's concerns and come up with innovative solutions. The pressure was immense, but we were determined to succeed. Throughout this challenging period, Melissa was my rock. Despite her pregnancy, she supported me unconditionally, offering words of encouragement and understanding. Her strength and resilience were a source of inspiration, reminding me of the importance of balance and perspective. Finally, after weeks of hard work, we managed to turn the situation around. The client was impressed with our efforts and decided to stay with us, ensuring the stability and growth of our startup. The sense of relief and accomplishment was overwhelming. To celebrate, Melissa and I planned a small getaway to a cozy cabin in the mountains. It was a chance to reconnect, relax, and recharge after the intense period we had just navigated. The fresh mountain air and serene surroundings were a perfect antidote to the stress we had endured. One evening, as we sat by the fireplace, Melissa placed a hand on her growing belly. "Alex, I'm so proud of what we've accomplished, both personally and professionally. Despite the challenges, we've managed to stay strong and supportive of each other." I nodded, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. "We make a great team, Melissa. I couldn't have done it without you. And now, we have so much to look forward to." As the fire crackled and the stars twinkled outside, I realized how far we had come. From the pain and betrayal of the past, we had built a life filled with love, hope, and endless possibilities. The future was bright, and I knew that together, we could face any challenge that came our way. Our child's arrival would mark a new chapter in our lives, bringing with it the joys and trials of parenthood. But with Melissa by my side, I felt ready to embrace whatever the future held. We were stronger together, and our love was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. The weeks leading up to the birth of our child were a blend of excitement, preparation, and nervous anticipation. Melissa and I attended our final prenatal classes, double-checked the nursery, and packed a hospital bag with everything we might need. The anticipation of meeting our baby filled our hearts with joy and a hint of nervousness. One night, as we were settling in for bed, Melissa suddenly gasped and clutched her stomach. "Alex, I think it's time," she said, her voice trembling with a mixture of pain and excitement. My heart raced as I jumped out of bed, grabbed the hospital bag, and helped Melissa to the car. The drive to the hospital felt like a surreal blur, my mind racing with thoughts of what was to come. Melissa remained calm, her strength and composure a testament to her incredible resilience. At the hospital, the staff quickly admitted us, and the labor process began. Hours passed in a whirlwind of contractions, encouragement, and anticipation. Melissa's determination and courage were awe-inspiring, and I held her hand, offering support and love every step of the way. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the doctor announced that it was time. With a final push and a cry that filled the room, our baby was born. The moment the doctor placed our newborn in Melissa's arms, tears of joy streamed down our faces. We were overwhelmed with love and awe at the tiny life we had created. "It's a girl," the doctor said with a smile. wrapping our daughter in a soft blanket and handing her to us. Melissa looked at our daughter with tears in her eyes. "Welcome to the world, little one," she whispered, her voice filled with love and wonder. "We've been waiting for you." I gazed at our baby girl, feeling an indescribable connection and a surge of protectiveness. "She's perfect, Melissa," I said, my voice choked with emotion. "Perfect." We named her Lily, a symbol of purity and new beginnings. Holding Lily in my arms for the first time was a moment of profound realization. Everything we had been through, the pain, the struggles, the triumphs, had led us to this beautiful moment. The days that followed were a blur of feedings, diaper changes, and sleepless nights. Despite the exhaustion, Melissa and I found a rhythm, supporting each other and sharing the responsibilities of parenthood. The bond between us grew even stronger as we navigated this new chapter together. One evening, as I was rocking Lily to sleep, I reflected on how much my life had changed. The journey from betrayal and heartache to love and fulfillment had been long and arduous, but it had led to this incredible moment. I had a loving wife, a beautiful daughter, and a future filled with endless possibilities. Melissa joined me, sitting beside me and watching as Lily's eyelids fluttered shut. "She's so peaceful," Melissa whispered, her eyes filled with love. I nodded, feeling a sense of contentment that I had never known before. "She is. And so are you, Melissa. You've been my rock through everything." Melissa smiled, leaning her head on my shoulder. "We've been each other's rocks, Alex. I couldn't have asked for a better partner in this journey." As Lily slept in my arms, I realized that the future, once so uncertain and filled with doubt, was now bright and full of promise. The startup continued to thrive, our family was growing, and the love Melissa and I shared was unbreakable. In the months that followed, we settled into our roles as parents, cherishing every milestone and moment with Lily. Her first smile, her first laugh, her first steps, each achievement was a testament to the love and dedication we poured into our family. Our friends and family rallied around us, offering support and celebrating with us as we navigated the joys and challenges of parenthood. David, in particular, was a constant presence, his friendship and support unwavering. One afternoon, as we were sitting in the park with Lily, David joined us, his face beaming with pride. "You two are doing an amazing job," he said, watching as Lily toddled around on unsteady legs. "It's incredible to see how far you've come." I smiled, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. "Thanks, David. We couldn't have done it without the support of our friends and family." Melissa nodded, her eyes shining with happiness. "We're truly blessed." As the sun set, casting a warm glow over the park, I felt a profound sense of fulfillment. The journey had been challenging, but it had led us to this beautiful moment. With Melissa and Lily by my side, I knew that we could face anything that came our way. The future was bright, filled with love, laughter, and endless possibilities. Together, we were building a truly extraordinary life, one filled with the promise of new beginnings and the strength of unbreakable bonds. Life with Lily was a joyful whirlwind. Each day brought new surprises and precious moments that Melissa and I cherished. Our startup continued to flourish, and our family life was filled with love and laughter. However, as we had learned, life often has its plans, and an unexpected challenge soon tested our strength and resilience once again. One crisp autumn morning, as I was preparing to head to the office, I noticed that Melissa seemed unusually tired and out of breath. She brushed it off as just a restless night, but my concern lingered throughout the day. Over the next few weeks, her fatigue persisted, and she began experiencing shortness of breath and occasional chest pain. "Melissa, I think we should see a doctor," I urged one evening, my worry evident in my voice. Reluctantly, she agreed, and we scheduled an appointment. The doctor conducted a thorough examination and ordered several tests. A few days later, we received a call asking us to come in to discuss the results. Sitting in the doctor's office, holding Melissa's hand, I tried to remain calm. The doctor entered, his expression serious. "Melissa, Alex, I'm afraid the tests have revealed a significant issue. You have a heart condition known as cardiomyopathy. It's causing your heart to weaken and not pump blood as effectively as it should." The news hit us like a freight train. Melissa's face paled, and I felt a surge of fear and helplessness. "What does this mean for her?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. The doctor explained the severity of the condition and outlined a treatment plan that included medication, lifestyle changes, and regular monitoring. It's important to manage this condition carefully to prevent it from worsening. With the right care, many people live full and active lives. Melissa nodded, her strength and determination shining through despite the fear in her eyes. Well, do whatever it takes. Leaving the doctor's office, we were both overwhelmed by the news, but as we walked to the car hand in hand, I felt a renewed sense of purpose. We had faced challenges before, and we would face this one together, with the same resilience and love that had carried us through so much. Back home, we sat down to discuss how we would adjust our lives to accommodate Melissa's condition. We researched cardiomyopathy extensively, learning about the best ways to manage it and what lifestyle changes would be necessary. We adjusted our diet, incorporated regular exercise into our routine, and made sure Melissa took her medications diligently. The support from our friends and family was incredible. David and our team at the startup stepped up to ensure I could be there for Melissa and Lily. Our parents offered their help, and even Jennifer reached out, expressing her concern and offering support. Through it all, Melissa remained positive and determined. Her strength was awe-inspiring, and her love for our family kept her going. She continued to be an amazing mother to Lily, and we found new ways to enjoy our time together, focusing on the simple joys of life. One evening, as we sat together on the couch, Melissa turned to me with a serious expression. "Alex, I know this is hard, but I want you to know that I'm not giving up. I'm going to fight this with everything I have, for you and Lily." I wrapped my arms around her, feeling a deep sense of love and admiration. "I know you will, Melissa, and I'm here with you, every step of the way. We're in this together." Our journey through Melissa's illness was a testament to the power of love and resilience. There were difficult days, filled with uncertainty and fear, but there were also days of hope and triumph. Each small victory, a positive checkup, a day with fewer symptoms, was a reminder of our strength and determination. As the months passed, we settled into a new rhythm. Melissa's condition stabilized, and we found a balance between managing her health and enjoying our life together. Lily's laughter filled our home, and our love for each other deepened with each challenge we faced. One afternoon, while playing with Lily in the park, Melissa turned to me with a smile. "You know, Alex, this experience has taught me so much about the importance of every moment. I don't take anything for granted anymore." I nodded, feeling the truth of her words. It's true. We've been through so much, but it's made us stronger, and I wouldn't trade our life for anything. And as we watched Lily chase butterflies, I realized that our journey, with all its ups and downs, had brought us to a place of profound gratitude and love. We had faced our fears, embraced our challenges, and emerged stronger and more connected than ever. The future was still uncertain, but I knew that with Melissa by my side, we could face anything. Our love and resilience were unbreakable, and together, we would continue to build a life filled with hope, joy, and endless possibilities. Melissa's diagnosis had brought an unexpected challenge into our lives, but it also brought us closer together. Our family, friends, and colleagues rallied around us, providing a network of support that helped us navigate this difficult time. Despite the hurdles, our love for each other and our determination to face whatever came our way remained unwavering. One evening, after putting Lily to bed, Melissa and I sat on the couch, enjoying a moment of quiet together. I could see the fatigue in her eyes, but there was also a determination that I admired deeply. "Alex, I've been thinking about how we can use this experience to help others," she said softly, her hand resting on mine. "There are so many people dealing with similar challenges, and maybe we can make a difference." Her words struck a chord with me. "You're right, Melissa. We've been fortunate to have so much support, and if we can help others going through similar struggles, it would be a way to give back." We decided to start a support group for families dealing with cardiomyopathy. Using our experiences, we wanted to create a community where people could share their stories, offer support, and find resources to help them manage their conditions. We reached out to local hospitals and community centers, and soon we had a small but dedicated group of members. Our first meeting was held in a cozy room at the community center. As people began to arrive, I felt a mix of nervousness and excitement. Melissa and I shared our story, emphasizing the importance of love, resilience, and the support of family and friends. The response was overwhelming. People opened up about their own experiences, and there was a palpable sense of connection and understanding in the room. Over the next few months, our support group grew. We organized workshops and guest speakers and provided resources to help families navigate their journeys. Melissa's strength and positivity were a source of inspiration for everyone involved, and our bond grew even stronger as we worked together on this meaningful project. One evening, after a particularly successful meeting, Melissa and I sat in the kitchen, reflecting on the impact we were making. "I'm so proud of what we've accomplished," she said, her eyes shining with gratitude. "It's amazing to see how people are finding strength and hope through our group." I nodded, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. "We're making a real difference, Melissa, and it's all because of you and your determination to turn something difficult into something positive." As we continued to build our support group, we also focused on our family. Lily was growing quickly, her laughter and curiosity bringing endless joy to our lives. We celebrated her milestones, from her first words to her first steps, and each moment felt like a precious gift. One weekend, we decided to take a short trip to a cabin in the mountains, a place where we could relax and recharge. The fresh mountain air and the beauty of nature were the perfect antidote to the challenges we faced. We spent our days exploring the trails, playing with Lily, and enjoying the simple pleasures of being together. One evening, as the sun set behind the mountains, casting a warm glow over the landscape, Melissa and I sat on the porch, wrapped in a blanket. "This is exactly what we needed," she said, resting her head on my shoulder. "A chance to slow down and appreciate everything we have." I kissed the top of her head, feeling a deep sense of peace. "I couldn't agree more. Being here with you and Lily is everything I could ever ask for." As the days turned into weeks, we continued to balance our work, family life, and our support group. Each day brought new challenges and triumphs, but we faced them together, with unwavering love and resilience. One afternoon, while working at the office, I received an unexpected call from a prominent health organization. They had heard about our support group and were interested in collaborating with us to expand our reach and impact. The opportunity was both exciting and humbling, a testament to the difference we were making. I shared the news with Melissa that evening, and her face lit up with excitement. "This is incredible, Alex. Think of how many more people we can help with their support." We eagerly accepted the offer, and soon our support group became a part of a larger network, providing resources and assistance to families across the country. The collaboration brought new opportunities and challenges, but it also amplified our impact, allowing us to reach and help even more people. Through it all, Melissa's health remained stable. We continued to follow the doctor's advice, and her strength and resilience never ceased to amaze me. Her positive attitude and determination were a source of inspiration for everyone around her, including our growing support group. As we looked toward the future, I felt a profound sense of gratitude. The journey had been filled with unexpected twists and turns, but it had also brought us closer together and given us a deeper appreciation for the love and support we shared. One evening, as we sat together on the porch, watching Lily play in the yard, Melissa turned to me with a smile. "We've come so far, Alex, and I know that whatever the future holds, we'll face it together." I took her hand, feeling the strength of our bond. "Yes, we will. Together, we can overcome anything." With Melissa by my side and our family and friends supporting us, I knew that the future was bright. The challenges we had faced had made us stronger, and the love we shared was unbreakable. Together, we would continue to build a life filled with hope, joy, and endless possibilities, one step at a time. With our support group thriving and Melissa's health stabilized, life settled into a new, fulfilling rhythm. We were deeply involved in our community, our startup continued to grow, and our family life was rich with love and joy. The sense of purpose and connection we felt was stronger than ever. One sunny afternoon, while Melissa and I were enjoying a picnic at the park with Lily, she turned to me with a thoughtful expression. "Alex, I've been thinking about something important," she said, her voice filled with quiet determination. I looked at her, intrigued. "What's on your mind?" "I want to create a foundation to help families dealing with cardiomyopathy and other heart conditions," she said. "Our support group has made such a difference locally, but I think we can do even more on a larger scale." Her idea was inspiring, and I could see the passion in her eyes. That's a wonderful idea, Melissa. I think it's a great way to extend our impact and help even more people. We spent the next few months planning and organizing the foundation. We enlisted the help of friends, family, and professionals who shared our vision. The process was challenging, but incredibly rewarding. Our goal was to provide resources, support, and advocacy for families affected by heart conditions, helping them navigate their journeys with hope and resilience. The day we officially launched the foundation was filled with excitement and a sense of accomplishment. We held a small ceremony, inviting members of our support group, healthcare professionals, and community leaders. Melissa gave a heartfelt speech, sharing our story and the mission of the foundation. Today we take a step forward in our journey to help families facing heart conditions, she said, her voice strong and filled with emotion. We want to provide them with the support and resources they need to thrive, just as we have. The response was overwhelmingly positive, and we were inundated with offers of support and collaboration. Our foundation quickly became a beacon of hope for many, and we worked tirelessly to ensure it made a meaningful impact. Meanwhile, our personal lives continued to flourish. Lily was growing quickly, her boundless energy and curiosity bringing joy to everyone around her. She started preschool, making new friends, and exploring the world with wide-eyed wonder. Melissa and I cherished every moment, marveling at how quickly time seemed to pass. One evening, after a particularly successful fundraising event for the foundation, Melissa and I sat in our living room, reflecting on how far we had come. "I'm so proud of everything we've achieved," she said, her eyes shining with happiness. "It feels like we're creating something truly lasting and meaningful." I nodded, feeling a deep sense of pride and fulfillment. "We are, Melissa, and it's all because of your vision and determination." As the foundation grew, we expanded our programs to include educational initiatives, financial assistance, and research funding. We partnered with leading hospitals and research institutions to advance the understanding and treatment of heart conditions. Our work was making a tangible difference in the lives of countless families, and it was incredibly rewarding to see the impact we were having. One afternoon, as I was working in my office, I received a call from David. "Alex, I've got some exciting news," he said, his voice brimming with enthusiasm. "Our startup has been nominated for an industry award for innovation and social impact." The news was exhilarating, and I immediately shared it with Melissa. We celebrated with a quiet dinner at home, reflecting on the journey that had brought us to this moment. "This recognition is a testament to our hard work and dedication," Melissa said, raising her glass in a toast. "Here's to many more successes." The award ceremony was a glamorous event, filled with industry leaders and innovators. When our startup was announced as the winner, I felt a surge of pride and gratitude. As I accepted the award on behalf of our team, I thought about the incredible journey we had undertaken, the challenges we had overcome, and the love and support that had fueled our success. In my acceptance speech, I shared our story, highlighting the importance of resilience, innovation, and community. "This award is not just a recognition of our achievements," I said, my voice steady and filled with emotion. "It's a celebration of the strength and determination of everyone who has supported us along the way." As the applause echoed through the room, I felt a profound sense of fulfillment. Our journey had been marked by trials and triumphs, but it had ultimately led us to a place of deep purpose and connection. In the years that followed, our foundation and startup continued to thrive. We expanded our reach, helping even more families and making a lasting impact on the world. Melissa's health remained stable, and we cherished every moment together, grateful for the love and joy that filled our lives. Looking back, I realized that the journey we had undertaken was not just about overcoming challenges, but about building a legacy of love and resilience. With Melissa by my side and Lily growing up surrounded by a community of support and care, I knew that we had created something truly extraordinary. Our love had withstood the tests of time and adversity, and together we had built a life filled with purpose, joy, and endless possibilities. As we looked toward the future, I felt a deep sense of gratitude and hope, knowing that whatever challenges lay ahead, we would face them together, with unwavering strength and love. As our foundation flourished and Lily grew older, our lives were busy and fulfilling. However, one piece of unfinished business still lingered in my mind. It had been years since I last saw Jennifer, and despite everything, I couldn't shake the feeling that we needed to have a final conversation. It was time to close that chapter of my life for good. One day, as I was sorting through some old papers, I found a letter from Jennifer. It was dated shortly after her move to another state, and though I had read it before, I felt compelled to read it again. Her words were filled with regret and a longing for closure, and I realized that I needed to speak with her one last time. I discussed it with Melissa that evening. "I think I need to see Jennifer," I said, my voice tentative. "There are things left unsaid, and I want to find closure." Melissa looked at me thoughtfully. "I understand, Alex. Sometimes facing the past is necessary to fully move forward. Just be honest and true to yourself." With Melissa's support, I reached out to Jennifer and arranged to meet in her city. The trip was both exciting and nerve-wracking. I didn't know what to expect, but I hoped this meeting would bring the closure I needed. Jennifer suggested we meet at a quiet cafe downtown. As I walked in, I saw her sitting by the window, looking out at the bustling street. She had changed. There was a certain weariness in her eyes, but also a sense of calm that hadn't been there before. "Alex, it's good to see you," she said, standing up and giving me a tentative smile. "You too, Jennifer," I replied, sitting down across from her. "Thank you for agreeing to meet." We ordered our drinks and spent a few moments in awkward silence before Jennifer spoke. "I've thought about this moment a lot. There's so much I want to say, but mostly, I want to apologize again. I know I've hurt you deeply, and I'm truly sorry for everything." I nodded, feeling a mix of emotions. "I appreciate that, Jennifer. It's been a long journey, and I've come to realize that holding on to anger and resentment isn't healthy. I've moved on, and I hope you have too." She sighed, her eyes reflecting her regret. "It's taken time, but yes, I've found some peace. Moving away and starting over was difficult, but it gave me a chance to reflect and grow. I'm glad to hear you're doing well." We spent the next hour talking about our lives since the divorce. Jennifer shared her experiences and the struggles and triumphs she faced while rebuilding her life. She told me about a new job she loved and how she had found a supportive community that helped her heal. As we talked, I felt a sense of closure beginning to form. The anger and pain that had once consumed me were replaced by understanding and empathy. We had both made mistakes, but we had also learned and grown from them. "Jennifer, I want you to know that I forgive you," I said finally. "It wasn't easy, but I've realized that forgiveness is a necessary part of healing. I wish you nothing but the best." Tears welled up in her eyes as she nodded. "Thank you, Alex. That means more to me than you know. I wish you and your family all the happiness in the world." With our conversation drawing to a close, we parted ways with a sense of mutual respect and understanding. The weight of the past felt lighter, and I knew that I had made the right decision in seeking closure. Returning home, I felt a renewed sense of peace. Melissa greeted me with a warm hug, and I shared the details of my meeting with Jennifer. "It was the closure I needed," I said, feeling a sense of finality. "I'm ready to fully embrace our future without any lingering doubts." Melissa smiled, her eyes filled with love and pride. "I'm so glad to hear that, Alex. You've come so far, and I'm proud of you for facing your past." As the weeks turned into months, life continued to be a beautiful blend of family, work, and community. Lily was thriving, our foundation was making a significant impact, and our startup was reaching new heights. Melissa and I cherished each moment, knowing that we had built something truly special together. One evening, as we sat on the porch, watching the sunset, Melissa turned to me with a thoughtful expression. "You know, Alex, I've been thinking about writing a book, a memoir about our journey and the lessons we've learned. I think it could help a lot of people." Her idea was inspiring, and I could see the passion in her eyes. "That's a wonderful idea, Melissa. I think it would be a beautiful way to share our story and inspire others." We began working on the memoir together, reflecting on our journey and the experiences that had shaped us. Writing the book was a therapeutic process, allowing us to relive the moments that had defined our relationship and the love that had carried us through. As we neared the completion of the memoir, we decided to dedicate it to Lily, our inspiration and the embodiment of our love and resilience. The book was a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the power of love to overcome even the greatest challenges. On the day of the book's release, we held a small celebration with our family, friends, and supporters. As we read excerpts and shared stories, I felt a deep sense of gratitude for the journey we had taken and the love that had sustained us. Looking back, I realized that our journey had been filled with unexpected twists and turns, but it had ultimately led us to a place of profound fulfillment and joy. With Melissa by my side and Lily growing up surrounded by love and support, I knew that our future was bright. Our story was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring power of love. Together, we faced our fears, embraced our challenges, and built a life filled with hope, joy, and endless possibilities. As we looked toward the future, I knew that whatever came our way, we would face it together, with unwavering strength and love. With the memoir published and well received, Melissa and I felt a deep sense of accomplishment. Our story resonated with many, and the feedback we received was heartwarming. People from all walks of life reached out to share how our journey had inspired them and given them hope. It was a beautiful reminder of the impact we could have on others by sharing our experiences. One morning, as we were preparing breakfast, Lily ran into the kitchen, her face lit up with excitement. "Mommy, Daddy, look at what I drew!" She held up a crayon drawing of our family, complete with smiling faces and a bright sun shining overhead. Melissa and I exchanged a smile. "That's beautiful, Lily," Melissa said, pulling her into a hug. "You're such a talented artist." Lily beamed with pride. "I want to be an artist when I grow up." "Whatever you want to be, we'll support you," I said, ruffling her hair. "You can achieve anything you set your mind to." As Lily skipped off to play, Melissa turned to me with a thoughtful expression. "Alex, I've been thinking a lot about the future. We've accomplished so much, but I feel like there's still so much more we can do." I nodded, understanding exactly what she meant. "I've been feeling the same way. We've built a strong foundation with our support group and the foundation, but there's always more we can contribute." Together, we brainstormed new initiatives for the foundation, focusing on expanding our reach and providing even more resources for families dealing with heart conditions. We partnered with schools to implement educational programs, ensuring that children and their families were informed and supported from a young age. We also began organizing annual conferences, bringing together medical professionals, researchers, and families to share knowledge and advancements in the field of cardiology. These events became a cornerstone of our foundation's efforts, fostering a sense of community and collaboration. One evening, while reviewing the plans for our upcoming conference, Melissa received an unexpected email. It was from a renowned cardiologist who had read our memoir and was interested in working with our foundation to conduct groundbreaking research on cardiomyopathy. "This could be a game changer," Melissa said, her eyes wide with excitement. "Think of the possibilities, Alex. We could make a real difference in the medical field." The prospect of contributing to such important research was exhilarating. We immediately scheduled a meeting with the cardiologist, Dr. Harper, and discussed the potential collaboration. Dr. Harper was passionate about his work and believed that with the right resources and support, they could make significant strides in understanding and treating cardiomyopathy. The partnership with Dr. Harper's team brought a new level of energy and purpose to our foundation. We launched a fundraising campaign to support the research, and the response was overwhelming. Donations poured in from individuals, corporations, and other foundations, all eager to support our cause. As the research progressed, we shared updates with our community, keeping them informed and engaged. The excitement and hope that surrounded the project were palpable, and it reinforced our commitment to making a difference. Amidst the flurry of activity, Melissa and I made sure to prioritize our family. We took regular trips, enjoyed quiet weekends at home, and cherished every moment with Lily. Watching her grow and thrive was a constant source of joy and inspiration. One weekend, we decided to revisit the cabin in the mountains where we had spent so many memorable moments. It was a chance to reconnect with nature and each other, away from the hustle and bustle of our busy lives. As we sat by the fireplace watching the flames dance, Melissa leaned into me and sighed contentedly. "This place holds so many memories," she said softly. "It's where we faced some of our biggest challenges and celebrated some of our greatest joys." I nodded, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. It's a reminder of how far we've come and how much we've accomplished together. The next morning, we took a hike through the forest, the crisp air invigorating and refreshing. As we walked, Lily ran ahead, her laughter echoing through the trees. It was a perfect moment, a testament to the love and strength that had carried us through the years. As we stood at the edge of a scenic overlook, Melissa turned to me with a smile. Alex, I want to make a promise. No matter what challenges we face in the future, I will always stand by your side. Together, we can overcome anything. I took her hand, feeling the warmth of her love. I promise the same, Melissa. We've built an incredible life together, and I know that whatever comes our way, we will face it with unwavering strength and love. With our vows renewed and our hearts full, we looked out at the breathtaking view, knowing that the future was bright and filled with endless possibilities. Our journey had been marked by trials and triumphs, but it had ultimately led us to a place of profound fulfillment and joy. As we made our way back to the cabin, I felt a deep sense of peace. We had created a legacy of love, resilience, and hope, and I knew that our story was far from over. With Melissa and Lily by my side, I was ready to embrace the future, one step at a time. Back home, our lives continued to be a beautiful blend of work, family, and community. The foundation's impact grew, the research made promising strides, and our family thrived in the love and support we shared. Looking back on our journey, I realized that every challenge had made us stronger, and every triumph had brought us closer. Together, we had built a life filled with purpose and joy, and I knew that the future held even more incredible moments. As we faced each new day, I felt a deep sense of gratitude for the love and resilience that had carried us through. Our story was a testament to the power of love, and together we would continue to build a life filled with hope, joy, and endless possibilities.